Hello guys, and welcome to the next tutorial where we're gonna talk about relational operators. And these are operators basically are used to compare if one value is greater or smaller or bigger or smaller and equal to each other. And these are gonna be used very much a lot in your programming. Okay, so. Let's get started. So let's create a couple of things. So let's do int x, and let's say it's equal to 5. Let's say int y is equal to 6. And let's set it up so we can compare if, and this is our if statement that we're gonna put the expression inside, and we're gonna print out basically if it evaluates, if it gets in there, that means whatever is inside those parentheses is true, and so we just want to print out the truth. Okay, so this is gonna let us know if we are inside this code. So right here where we learned before that you can put equal sign, which is tests if they are equal. Well, there's another one which is even cooler one, is if you can compare if they're greater or equal to each other. Okay, so what we can say is we can say if x is less or smaller than y. Okay, and basically this sign means that if this is a smaller one than y, this is going to be true if it is, and if it's not, it's going to be false. And if it is true, we're going to go here and execute this code, and if it is false, then we're gonna skip this and come over here to execute further. Okay, so let's run it, and if this is correct, we should see the truth, and it is true because 5 is smaller than y. The other way to do it is if we want to compare them, and if it's say if one is less than or equal to. Okay, and the way to do it, you just add an equal at after that, and basically what it compares if it's less than or equal than y. Okay, so basically this is used a lot, and this is used if you like comparing ages, for instance, right? If you're over 13 years old, then you can watch certain movies. So if you're equal and greater. Okay, so in this case we would say if x is greater or equal to y. So we can also say, hey, if x is greater or equal than 18, then you can buy cigarettes, right? So you have to be 18 or older, right? So if this is true, then you can do certain things here. Now you can compare, as you saw it, to the x or y between each other. You can compare them to the numbers. You can also compare them to different things. Okay, so they don't have to be integer. This can also be double, and we can also say z, and we can say equal to 4.5, for instance, right? And we can also compare that to that as well. So we can say z in this situation. Okay, so you can compare them, and believe it or not, you can also compare this to the character. And let's say that our character B, well, let's call this K, equal to an A. Okay, and believe it or not, you can also compare X to K as well. And the reason why you can do that is because characters are represented in the Unicode. Okay, and this is actually behind the scene. I actually created this ahead of time. So this is the cool website where you can see all the Unicodes, and what do we type in there? We type this is an A, okay, and the A is basically right here. Okay, so in our Unicode, in our program, inside it represents this 0061, and the other one which we're comparing to is 5. Okay, so 5 is also represented here as well, which is right here, and this is smaller number, as you can see, 0035. Okay, and 0035 is smaller, so if we run this correctly, if our logic is correct, it's saying if this is bigger or equal to k. Okay, so let's see if this is correct. If we start, we're gonna come back here and this is false. So basically it's saying that this number x is smaller, which is 5, is smaller than a, and if we saw this, it is smaller. Okay, the 5 is smaller, 0035 is smaller than an a. Okay, so this is basically kind of a quick example of this. What I do want to point it out is that don't make this mistake and don't say equal or less, because this will give you an error. This is, a lot of people make this mistake, so don't feel bad if that does happen. So you can just say greater or equal, or just greater. Okay, so there's 4 of them. Okay, less, which is smaller, and greater, and also greater or equal or less than equal. So there's 4 of those, and you can compare between integer doubles and character. You can also compare character to character, and this is done when you want to sort in alphabetical order. You can compare them using this competitors. Okay, what you can do is, we're not going to get into this right now, but you cannot compare strings. Okay, I'm not going to show you that example, but it's for the higher, later we might cover there or might not, is you don't use this comparator when you compare strings. Okay, so if you make a string and you say string comparing to another one, there's a special way where you can compare them using the internal .NET functions when you can do that. Okay, but we're not going to cover that yet. So this is pretty much it for now, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you in next tutorial.